Well, it is a pleasure to have Kevin and Jenny Campbell-White here to share with us about virtual work and witness teams. They've been doing some really innovative stuff in the Asia Pacific region. And so they're here to share some of the materials they've developed, some of the lessons they've learned, and help us all participate in a different way in work and witness using some virtual tools that are available to us now. So without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to Kevin and Jenny Campbell-White.
Well, good morning, evening, night, whatever.
It's morning for us.
Okay, so here in Thailand, it is 1 a.m., which I decided was actually rather appropriate because this is often the time that I would be, if in normal work and witness days, this was the time that I would be meeting groups at the airport with bottles of water and snacks and shuffling them into vans. So rather than doing that, we are up in wee hours with you guys, and we are very privileged to be here. What we're going to talk to you about is virtual work and witness. And the first thing I want to say about virtual work and witness is please don't think of this as a replacement for work and witness. There is nothing that replaces people actually coming and being with one another. However, when COVID happened and the pandemic started and everything shut down, we, like everybody else, just kind of waited and then trip after trip after trip got canceled. And then and we thought, what are we going to do here? Just sit on our hands? We have no idea how long this is going to go on. And it gave us some time to start thinking a little bit more outside the box. And one of the things we came up with was the idea of doing virtual trips. So a virtual trip can look like a couple different things. It can be an actual physical project that you would choose, just like you would on any other work and witness team, but you don't actually physically go there. You meet online and you send your money, and the project happens with local labor. You can also sponsor a team from the country or district where you are, so that there's a national team or multinational team. And so you have a physical project, a virtual team, and a national team.
Going to a third location, so it's like a joint work and witness.
So perhaps from one district to another district. Right now we can't go in between. So our field, we are, in case you're wondering, we are Southeast Asia field, and we have some creative access areas, but we're 5 countries altogether. And right now we cannot be in all of those countries either. So, so for right now, we're operating mostly in Thailand.
And the other way that is longer term for virtual work and witness, as we were developing this, the thing we're really excited about is the potential for using this when everything opens back up. That there's an actual project, there's a regular work and witness team that comes to meet with us, or another place goes wherever you're going in the world. But you have you use the virtual materials that we've developed to include your entire church or even a district, whoever wants to join, but for whatever reason can't travel. Sometimes people don't want to travel. Sometimes they don't have the funds. For whatever reason, all of a sudden, now your team can be the entire church. And the goal is that we meet together before it starts. And while the team is physically in the country, we are meeting virtually with the team and including those who didn't physically come with you as a part of the trip. And when you return home, we're continuing to meet. So it develops more of a relationship. And when you arrive in the country, you will have already met some of the people that you're going to be working with. And done some cultural orientation. So it kind of broadens the scope of work and witness quite a bit.
One of the other benefits of virtual work and witness, which is something that For those of us in countries who are still pretty locked down or restricted as to who can come in and out, is that a virtual trip includes anyone and everyone. Doesn't matter what your skill level is or your health limitations. It doesn't matter where you're coming from. All you need actually is some internet access. You can do this on your phone or any device. And this can even be used as for like a missions group at a university.
Yeah, if you are a university professor you're connected with, or if you're another site coordinator watching this, what about connecting with missions classes at universities for a semester and doing cultural things with them and adding that to their learning experience? The potential, really our goal in this was to kind of get some creative juices flowing. And we've used this in a little bit, and we're excited to see what everybody else does with it, because there's so much that can be done.
We really just want to give you some ideas for how you can also start to think in different and creative ways, how you can use the technology that we have. But the beauty of virtual work and witness is that you can come from anywhere to anywhere at almost any time. You do have to be careful about time zones. We would not be waking our local people up at 1 a.m. right now to chat with you. But we are happy to make those arrangements, and usually no matter where you are in the world, we can find some piece of the time zone that will work. So we want to talk to you just, sort of how this works, how we see it working, how we've used it. And then we want to just kind of open up for questions too, and allow you to just kind of look at the materials. But so the question, how do you get started? So the first thing you're going to do is talk with your local church and pray together about how God wants to use you in missions, and contact a work and witness coordinator in the country where you feel God's calling you to serve. There are amazing work and witness projects on all of our work and witness websites. All of the coordinators have great projects put up, and so you can check those out. So it's very similar to starting a work and witness trip at the beginning. You can still choose a project. And remember, I don't know on other fields, but we also have prayer work and witness teams that are prayer and evangelism. So there are a variety of things, everything from building something to digging a well to there are a variety of
medical
projects.
teams. Yeah, I mean,
we've done a lot of different things. We can't really do medical checkups online, but so you're going to contact your work and witness coordinator in the country, and we've already had several work and witness coordinators ask us for this material, so you might see that this is available in more than just Southeast Asia. And then we are going to introduce you to the virtual work and witness e-guide. The virtual work and witness e-guide is a Bible study that we have written. That is, it's about a 6-week Bible study, basically to teach people about missions. Now, when we first wrote this, we gave it only to the countries that would be the sending country. But we have since then translated it into Thai, so we can actually use it with our people here too. So the goal would be that both sides are learning about missions, because we actually want to develop a heart for missions in our people here as well.
Yeah, and this is an opportunity for, like we said, to go from anywhere to anywhere. So as countries that have traditionally only received teams become familiar with this platform, it begins to open the door for them to actually go on work and witness trips themselves, first virtually and then maybe to somewhere else in their district. So like I said, it begins to broaden the scope and open a lot more doors for work and witness. So the e-guide is available as a PDF file and also as an EPUB. The ebook is a little bit more interactive, but both work the same. There are 6 sections And as an online, the way we have used this is the churches that have done this with it have met like as a small group Bible study for a 6 to 8 week period of time. And I would meet with them, or sometimes we both met with them during the Bible study, and they led the Bible study. We just jumped in and kind of participated with them and shared pieces here and there. And if they had questions, of course, we were happy to answer. And then as you go through the guide, there are specific pieces that say, now it's time to set up a time to meet with your person on site. And often we were already there, and we would jump in and do cross-cultural orientation, teach them some pieces of the language, and just some fun interactive things.
There are also interactive videos for cultural information. There are games, and we'll get to that in a minute. But so the slide that you see up here right now is the table of contents. That's the word I was looking for, table of contents. And so there are 6 lessons: called to pray, called to witness, called to share, called to serve, called to give, and called to go. And so this is talking about different aspects of missions and how God is calling us as the people of God, and not just calling us to go, but to go out, period. And we also, at the end of this guide, ask your church how they're going to apply this, not only overseas, but also in their own community.
And so, like I said, we have done this because everything is still closed down. We've done this 100% virtual. We're excited to be able to use it in conjunction with physical trips, to where the first 1, 2, possibly 3 lessons happen before the trip ever begins. And then maybe lessons 4 and 5 or 3 and 4 happen while you're in the country, and those at home are still doing it with us, and we join together. And then at least lesson 6 or maybe lesson 5 and 6 happen when you're back home. And it's that follow-up piece of, all right, how are you planning? What are you guys doing to plan to apply what you've learned and experienced on the field in your own context?
A couple of different things that you'll find in the guide are things like practicing sharing your testimony and learning to actually share the gospel, which it's really interesting. One of the things that we have heard before is that people think that once they get to another country, they're going to just be able to give their testimony and share the gospel. Well, if you're not doing that at home, chances are it's going to be just as awkward when you go to another country. So this gives you time to practice, and then we actually set up times for our local people here to share their testimonies with the team that is from the sending country, and time for the people from the sending country to share their testimonies with the people at the receiving end. And that was very meaningful on both sides, for them to actually practice articulating what God has done for them, and practice sharing the gospel, making sure they actually know, what they believe, and that they can say it and explain it to someone.
Each of the lessons is formatted pretty much the same, and the lessons are designed to be educational about missions. They're not specific to our country, because we wanted it to be able to be used anywhere in the world. And so the lessons themselves are just about missions, and a lot of education. They all have just this talk time as an opening to the session, and then kind of dig into the scripture and what does the scripture have to say. How does this apply in our context? There are opportunities to listen to some songs with this. There are opportunities that your church can either watch, excuse me, a drama, or could actually perform a skit that goes with this in your service. It's a skit we used when we were in Poland. It's a great skit. that fit right in here well, and you could perform it live, or you could just watch a video of it. And then there's this section is the testimony part for this lesson, but there's each one that's, okay, how do we apply what we've learned? Sample testimony, and then it goes to the next lesson. At the end of the guide is something that's specific to whichever country you would be visiting virtually. In our case, that is Southeast Asia. So we have extras. We've got games, recipes, activities. There's video links to how to make Thai tea or how to play some games that the kids in schools play here.
Because we really suggest that you have a time when you get together and try to make a Thai dish, for instance. And we encourage our teams here to actually try to make some American food, maybe a recipe that you have sent to them, and they can try your food and you can try theirs. We teach a little bit of language, like we might teach you to say hello, sawadee ka.
Sawadee ka.
And we give a lot of the similar training and cultural information that we would give on a normal trip. We also have activities for teens and children. We've got a couple games that are typically played by children here.
And like this is a video link, and if you click it, it shows some of our kids out in Eastern Thailand teaching you how to play the game that's described here.
And there's a youth breakout devotional.
And this is it's an incredible story of a junior high youth group in Myanmar that built a house for a widow. They raised the money themselves. They cut all the bamboo themselves. In this video is them building the house. They found out this widow had nowhere to live. And as a junior high youth group, they decided, we are going to do this project. And in a course of about 2 weeks, they hauled all the stuff in, they built her a house, and now she has a church in her home. And there's a little video here that you can see that, and it's how can what can you do right now? Whether you're a children's group or a youth group or a whole church, what can you do? Because you have everything you need to do what God's calling you to do right now.
And then we also have like a scavenger hunt that you can do with your group, just fun things, because we want to make this fun as well as informative and educational.
And then of course,
wait a second, wait. And throughout this whole time, whatever project you've chosen, we're also updating you on the project. So you're able to see the progress, and hopefully it'll get finished or close to finished in the time span that you're doing this. We try to time those things correctly. Of course, just like every work and witness team, our mantra is be flexible. So, you know.
And if it doesn't, the beauty of it is if it doesn't get finished while we're still meeting, we will always make a final video overview of everything with some nice music in the background and make everybody cry in your church when they watch it. But yeah, so we include that. And of course, no work and witness trip is complete without enjoying lots of different food. So there's some dishes in here from all over. And since I got to be the one to pick the recipes, these are some of my favorites. So you've got the tom kha gai from Thailand. It's a coconut chicken soup. Best dessert here. Yeah, so there's just lots of neat things. And then just if you wanted to continue language lessons, some books that are good. Some of these are this Serving with Eyes Wide Open. There's another one called When Helping Hurts that I didn't put on here. They're really good, just missions books. And then some of these are specific to our field. And then we have some different views of places that if you were here, you would go, and you can click on the videos and see what's going on.
One of the things well, speaking of food.
So one of the things that is part of any virtual work and witness trip is we really try and make it be something that is not you're sitting on a screen listening to someone talk like you're doing right now the whole time. We want them to be as interactive as possible. We encourage teams to meet in groups and have not just, some people are more comfortable sitting at home, and that's totally fine. We've had that, but we've had churches meet with 20 or 30 people at the church all together. And then same, we have on this side 15 or 20 people, so that you still have that group dynamic, and there's interaction going on. But as far as the interaction on the screen, we also we do have interactive pieces on the screen. And so we're just going to actually do some of these things right now with you. There are some online polls. So if you're going to have a moment to click here. So I'm going to launch this poll, and you see the question on your screen, but just answer this. Just click on whichever one you think it is. What's the national flower of Thailand? We got everybody voting here. Lotus, oh, it's a good choice. They're all around here. They're used in everything. They're all kinds of, they're on all kinds of everything, actually. Right. But I'm going to go ahead and end the poll. We have almost
5,
half of
4,
you.
3, 2, 1.
Almost half of you chose the lotus. 25% chose the bird of paradise, but the answer is actually the orchid. Thailand has over 1,300 species of orchids, and this specific one here in yellow is the national flower of Thailand. So while we do have the lotus, it is actually the orchid. If this were an actual work and witness trip, I'd probably have your team leader with a Starbucks card for whoever would win, so that they could get a Starbucks at the end. But you'll have to sign up for a regular trip to get a prize. So let's try another one. Choose one of these. Now, this one is just, you get to pick. We talked about food. Again, these are some of my favorite foods. So if you had to choose one of these.
And you might think he's kidding, but he's not. These are actually some of his favorite foods. So
we have durian is up here in the top left. Bamboo grubs are in the top right. Bird's nest, which is made from it's the saliva of the swiftlet bird. It's strands of their saliva mixed with salt water to make these nests. These are about $900 a pound. We actually were given some as a gift because they don't weigh much, so you don't pay $900. And then of course tarantula. So we have 40% of people, 35 saying they'd take the durian. Oh, as soon as people found out what bird's nest is, everybody wants to try the bird's pit. All right. So
just to let you know, durian actually smells like something died. So Kevin likes it.
It's really tasty.
It's actually banned on public transportation and in certain areas because it smells so bad. He one time purchased some wrapped in plastic and put it in our refrigerator, and the next day the entire refrigerator smelled like durian. It's really powerful stuff.
So
but it is called the king of fruit.
It's the king of fruits. It can be really good. It's really spiky on the outside. I love it. The bird's nest, they often mix it with a broth, and it really just tastes like whatever they mix it in. Tarantulas are my second favorite. For the results of our poll, about 25% of you picked, there was 25% of people picked each of the 4 things divided evenly. So the tarantulas actually taste like crab. When you break them open, it looks like crab meat. And I'm telling you, I am terrified of spiders, and it took me a year to try one. But once I did, I get them every time I can because they're so tasty.
What he really likes is the pepper sauce that you see on the side.
But my hands down favorite is up here in the upper right hand corner. These are bamboo grubs, and in Thailand right now we are coming into bamboo grub season, and I can't wait. I will save about 5 kilos of these in my freezer to last me several months because if we're gonna sit down and watch a movie, I'll make Jenny some popcorn and I'll just stir fry myself up some bamboo grubs because they are unbelievably good. I have yet for anyone that is brave enough to try them to actually not like them.
So just so you know, though, in case you actually come to Southeast Asia, we actually have really good food. You do not have to eat any of this.
All right. So here's another question. How do you get someone's attention in Myanmar? How do you get someone's attention in Myanmar? So here we go. What do you think? Do you wave your hand at them? Garçon, snap your fingers. Click your tongue maybe. You make kissy sounds. That makes my lips vibrate funny. I don't like that.
Okay.
Believe it or not. Oh, we still have people. We've got a lot of clicking.
A lot of clicking tongues.
50% of you think it's clicking tongues, and about 25% each think it's snap your fingers or make kissy noises. So believe it or not, the answer is make kissy faces and noises. So you'll see men often making kissy faces to each other, and they're just trying to get each other's
saying,
attention.
Hey, come here.
They're like, hey, what's up, buddy? So yeah, just interesting things. All right, so next, let's see. Which famous temple in Southeast Asia is covered with more than 6.5 feet of solid gold? Which famous temple is covered in 6.5 feet of solid gold? All right. 50% of people are saying Wat Arun in Bangkok, Thailand. I'll let the poll keep going. You can't change your answer, but just to let you know, Wat Arun, the interesting thing about it is it is actually covered with broken pieces of pottery from shipping vessels that came through. And it's all teeny little pieces of pottery stuck on there, and it glistens in the sunlight, and it's amazing to see because you can't tell that that's what it's made of from far away. But I could tell you lots of really cool information about all of these structures, and they're all just amazing places to go. But the one that is made of 6.5 feet solid gold is the Shwedagon Pagoda in Yangon, Myanmar. So this pagoda right here is 367 feet tall. It's over 400 feet it's about 470 feet in diameter at the base, and it's 6.5 feet thick of solid gold. Up here,
and growing.
And growing. On this crown right here, there are, I believe it's 5,448 rubies and like 1,700 diamonds. And on the very tip top that you probably can't see, I think it goes off the top of the screen, but there's a 74 carat diamond that is flawless on the top of this structure.
Or so we're told that it's flawless.
But this structure is valued between $4 and $5 billion, which is 5.5% of the gross national product of the entire country of Myanmar, which is one of the poorest countries in Southeast Asia. So this is where the wealth goes. And to move on in Buddhism, you have to give money or gold to this, which is why it keeps growing. So it's sad, but it's a blinding structure in the sunlight. Do we have any more we want to do, or let's see?
I think we should probably let people ask questions and stuff too.
So, oops, I already gave the answer. What is something you should not do after dark in Southeast Asia? You don't whistle because it will summon ghosts. They're very superstitious here.
Very superstitious.
Yeah, I think that's all. Let me see. I think.
So if you
no,
want,
this is the last one. Okay, so here's the last one. This one's really interesting too. One more fact, and usually we'll spread these out so we're not just barraging you with information. We'll spread these out over the time while we're meeting, but This one's really fascinating. So, what makes the Tonle Sap River in Cambodia unique? Is it home to over 1,300 species of fish? Does it reverse direction every year? Did an airplane land on it after an engine failure? Or do fireballs shoot up from the water every year?
We have a lot of smart people here.
Yeah, a lot of you are getting this one right.
We're well educated anyway.
All right, 5 seconds. I'll turn the poll off. 5, 4, 3, 2.
Really long second.
Well, I'm trying to give, I know this is all being translated too, so we're trying to give them extra chances. So, all right. So more than 50% of you answered correctly, and none of you fell for my airplane landed on it from Captain Sully on the Hudson River. So good for you. The correct answer that more than 50% of you got is it reverses direction every year. When the Mekong River, the Tonle Sap River flows into the Mekong River, when it floods during the rainy season, which is now, it reverses the direction of the Tonle Sap and floods the Tonle Sap Reservoir. This is very important to the Cambodian economy because it deposits some of the richest soil in the world into Cambodia. And they have the best, if you like black pepper, if you don't think there's a difference between the different peppers you can buy, the pepper from Cambodia is unbelievable. It is so tasty compared to any other pepper. The interesting thing though is all of these answers on the screen are true, just not of the Tonle Sap. The Mekong River into which the Tonle Sap empties is actually home to 1,300 species of fish. The Tonle Sap reverses direction. The airplane landed on the Hudson River in the US, but the Mekong River on the border of Thailand and Cambodia, actually fireballs do shoot up from this river. Every year about this time in late October,
it releases gas.
It releases gases and they can shoot 300 feet into the air. These are actual pictures of some of the fireballs, and then little pieces will shoot almost 300 feet in the air. And actually, scientists haven't really been able to figure out why. But legend has it that the mythical Naga dragon, Payataya, lives in the river and shoots these fireballs up into the air. So just some neat facts about...
and this was just a demonstration of how you can kind of make virtual work and witness a little bit more fun. That being online together can be entertaining, it can be fun, it can be interesting. And we also just really want to emphasize that virtual work and witness is a way to make sure that the work that needs to be done continues to have a way to be done, that connections continue to be made. This is especially important, is that we want to continue to build relationships and maintain relationships. And we have seen people even beyond our work and witness trips connecting on Facebook and maintaining their relationships even after our work and witness team. Almost all of our people are on Facebook. And this also just gives us an opportunity to do something even more with missions. And so now we want to just take some time and answer any questions that you guys have or anything.
If you want to know something, ask, anything that you might have.
Kevin, I'm wondering if there is something in particular in the Buddhist world that you have found to be most effective for reaching them with the gospel message. And my understanding is they have this, this cycle of trying to reach nirvana, and that even Buddha himself, once he attained that, pretty much had to start over, with his reincarnations. But as far as delivering the gospel message, what have you found to be most effective?
So in our in the culture here, we are very free, and people are very interested to hear about Christianity. There's freedom of religion here, and they're fascinated. And one of the things we do as part of any team that comes, or any virtual team that comes, is give you kind of a primer on Buddhism and what it looks like, because it looks nothing like what you see Buddhism to look like in the US. It's not all peace, love, and yoga. But there are many Buddhists believe in hell. They believe in sin. They believe that sin must be atoned for. And so as they share and we ask questions about how they deal with sin and who they pray to, they will often ask the same questions to us. And one of the things that's always been fascinating and sad is as we share as we share Jesus, God's solution for sin in Jesus' sacrifice, we have yet for anyone not to tell us, oh my goodness, that's way better than my religion. I wish I could have that.
But here, one of the things about Buddhism in Thailand is that it is also, they have a saying that to be Thai is to be Buddhist. So it's part of the culture. It's very difficult to break away from. So I would say that to answer your question, the thing that is the very most effective in reaching people for Christ is answered prayer. When people see God at work, when people experience the God who is alive and who is answering prayer, that's when they say, okay, that I can take a chance on, that I can embrace. And that's when we see the most transformation. So prayer is just so vitally important. It's one of the reasons our guide starts with prayer.
Yeah, and people, I mean, we get to pray for people. They don't always know that we're not praying the same Buddhist blessings over them, because we will usually pray in English because it's really hard to pray in Thai. But people love to be prayed for. They're very open to it. And a lot of people are very religious. The veil between the spiritual world and the physical world in Thailand is much more transparent, I guess is to use that word, but just and they're very quick to give credit where credit is due. A gentleman in the school that Jenny teaches in was given, many of the teachers here, the vaccine that's mostly available in Thailand is Sinovac, which is kind of a pot shot as to whether it works or makes you horribly sick.
And this gentleman reacted badly.
We had, just in the small group of teachers at the school Jenny's at, 4 of the people ended up in the hospital the next day. One of them went into a coma, and within a week, his organs had completely shut down. And the doctors told his family, I'm sorry, he's not going to recover, he's gone. And a few days later, the church was praying for him, and a few days later, he sat up in his hospital bed, and the doctor immediately asked him, what religion are you? And he got a big grin on his face, and he said, I'm a Christian. And the doctor looked straight at him, and he said, your God healed you.
I'm seeing over here in the comments, someone said they're having trouble getting into the meeting. How can they get copies of the e-guide? So I think we have that posted.
It's in the Attendify stuff, but if you send us an email, we're happy to email you any of the one in as part of this conference is a PDF file, and it is a fully interactive PDF, but we're happy to send anyone the material as an ebook or the PDF so that you can review it. We also have a team leader guide for team leaders that take you through. There's an extra chapter at the beginning that's called to Prepare, that helps you set up a team and recruit a team, and many of the pieces from that are just taken from the work and witness materials that we already have been published by the Church of the Nazarene.
Any other questions? How long have we served here? We have been here for 4.5 years.
And Myanmar is someone asked, Myanmar open for work and witness teams. No, it is not, and it will not likely be for
There are no projections right now.
because of the political upheaval going on there. But our church is there in the midst of everything that's going on, and it's worse than what you hear on the news. We had a meeting a couple weeks ago with our pastors, and they're able to get online for about 8 hours a day, and they came online with us and said, we get to go out of our houses for about 4 to 6 hours a day. The military will let them go out to go get food and do different things. And they said, so that's the time that we go to our neighbors and do salvation camps so that we can still share the gospel. And they're planting churches in the middle of COVID and a political coup.
They've also joined with some other churches and denominations, and together they are providing COVID relief. They have COVID relief teams where they are trying to provide oxygen tanks. There's not very good medical care at all. And so, but do keep praying for Cambodia. I mean, for Myanmar. Well, pray for all of Southeast Asia, but for Myanmar in particular too.
And one of the things that we're excited that it has done for us in doing the virtual stuff is it has kept, so in Southeast Asia, Christians account for less than 1% of the population. And in many places, it's less than 0.1%. And so that was one of the things that we felt was really important to make sure that we had ways for the church to stay connected. There are so many areas in the world, and right now with everything shut down, I know one of the coordinators from Peru this week was sharing just how brutally hard they've been hit. And this allows all of you in churches that just love missions and want to connect, please connect with these work and witness coordinators around the world and find out what they're doing and find out how you can support them by connecting together online, because it really means when we say that work and witness is about relationship, it really is. And the relationship can continue even if you can't go. And it's so important for these churches here to feel connected and know that you are praying with them and they get to see your faces online.
There's a question here that said, do you do deputation via Zoom? And the answer is yes, we do. And so do all of our team members here in Southeast Asia. We've all been doing deputation via Zoom. So if you need a deputation message, you can contact one of us and we can definitely help you out with that.
Yeah, we have ours is,
we have a couple
uploaded on YouTube that we've used when churches can't
live.
come, or we can do live. Yeah. And
if your time is at a reasonable time.
but we'd rather come to Canada. It'd be fun.
Any other questions?
Folks flying around here. Yeah, any questions that you think of, you're welcome to shoot us an email.
I also saw that somebody asked if I had tried the grubs. The answer is yes. I've tried the grubs and the durian. I've not tried the spiders. What was the other one?
The bird's nest.
Oh, the bird's nest. I drank some of the broth with the bird's nest. It was, and the grubs are actually the best. They kind of are nutty buttery. So.
Yeah. So
I can't get over how they look, but they actually taste pretty good.
I put my email address in the chat window, but it's also on our page on Attendify, and you're welcome to shoot us any questions. Happy to help you connect even with other work and witness areas. If you can't remember anything and all you remember is our email, shoot me an email and we'd love to get you connected with people in other parts of the world and help you do that too.
Global Missions will do that for you as well.
Yeah.
So.
But we'd love to help any way we can. We actually have, if you have more questions, feel free to throw them in the window or feel free to interrupt or raise your hand. But one of the things that we love to do, some of you may have seen in Attendify, we have a fun little parody of a Parent Trap video that we made as a promo for Virtual Work and Witness, because we love to make fun videos to invite people to participate on mission with us. But Jenny, as we were trying to get ready for all of this stuff amidst everything else, a few days ago, I think it was only like 5 days ago, Jenny said, we should do another video for the Virtual Work and Witness Conference. And so we scrambled and finished shooting the video this afternoon and put it together. But we thought it'd be fun. This is one of the things we usually like to play videos for our Virtual Work and Witness teams. They're not all goofy ones. Some of them are serious. But we thought we'd make a video and we thought we'd play this video for you. So this is just one of our little promos. This is actually some of our people up here in Chiang Mai with us.
And we got a lot of help.
We got a lot of help for this one. So it's just a really quick throw together, but I hope you enjoy it. Here we go. Let's see. Remember to check share, sound, and optimize for video. So, all right, here we go.
Dum dum dum.
Oh, for the longest time. Oh, we've been confined.
Can you come here? Can you fight our fight? Quarantine will be just 49. There's so much to do, but no one be able to come forward and wait for the longest time.
Once upon a time you used to come. Now we know that COVID just goes on. But don't you worry, we can all meet virtually, 'cause you haven't been here for the longest time.
Maybe this is not our tip, but you find that we can still fellowship. Maybe you don't want to be online. We here to change your mind. So please take grocery. Will you tell them? Will you heed the call to share the greatest miracle of all?
Oh, how we need you to tell the stories of who came and showed He's loved you for the longest time.
If you have circled the little tower, just say to yourself, it's time to restart. Now we have new possibilities. If we quite find some fun, it is more than we hope for. We know that some don't like the vaccine, but online you don't need anything. You can just stay home, germs won't travel through your phone, and you can meet with us now almost any time.
Whoa, for the longest time. Whoa, it will all be fine. Whoa, we can meet online. Whoa, now it's all take time.
So that was with some help from our Bible school students up in northern Thailand at the Chapman Institute of Theology. So
Thank Children's Home.
and the
Yeah.
Medicine Children's Home.
But-
So thank you guys, and we are here to answer any questions you want. Please contact us anytime.
And it really is our bedtime. It's now almost 2 a.m. So. If you have any more questions or anything,
We still have
Yeah,
10 minutes.
we still have- five minutes or so. So yeah.
How do we get a copy? How do
The-
we get a copy of that video?
Oh,
So it is posted on our YouTube. There, the link to it just went up in the chat window. All of our silly videos are actually on our YouTube channel there. So, but yeah, that one went up this afternoon. So.
So I just wanted to say that our church experienced a virtual work and witness with the Campbell-Whites, and we did it in partnership with College Church here in Nampa. And some of our people came in person, and some of our people were virtual as well from their homes. But every week we pretty much had some connection to Thailand, either a video that would show what was going on and or some direct. Kevin was great, and Jenny, about actually lining people up there that we could visit with. And it was tremendously successful in terms of all of us feeling like we'd been there. We sent project money. We got to see how our money was used and to make a real difference on that campus. So I highly recommend it, and we'll probably do it again. It's really been new and improved, I see, since I think we were one of the first. So you've done a great job even with updating since then. So thank you.
how did you get the poll questions?
So if you are the host of a Zoom call, you'll have an option on the bottom that says poll, and you can add polls and just put questions in. They can be multiple questions. I did them one at a time for the purpose of this. In an actual team trip, I might have 5 questions, so I'm not having to launch a new poll. One of the apps available in Zoom is called Mentimeter. There's also a button on the bottom of your Zoom window called Apps. If everyone has Mentimeter installed, not everyone has to sign up for a plan for it, but that has incredible tools that are much better than the poll for online interaction and whiteboards that everybody can write on, games that you can play that are fun and informational, as well as a lot better tools, and only the presenter has to subscribe to it. And if everyone has it installed on their system, it works seamlessly with Zoom. But with a team, I want to use that with teams that visit. And before we met, I would have them all make sure it was on their system. But in this setting, I didn't want to spend time explaining all of you how to get it on your system. So there are a lot of neat interactive tools that can really make everything more interactive. But the polls are built in if you're the host of the Zoom room.
I'm looking to see if there are any other questions. And if you guys decide to use virtual work and witness, and you have, even if you're not using it with us and you need help or advice, if we can give it, we are happy to. Have we had children in virtual work and witness? Yes.
Yeah. One of the videos, and much more inspiring than our longest time video, one of the videos that the children's home kids here made, and we didn't actually institute it. We asked them to prepare something, and the children at the children's home prepared an arrangement of Waymaker in the middle of COVID last November and recorded it. And we played that as the video during one of the joint sessions. And I mean, it was powerful. It was so neat to see. And we've had kids from the US, because we have a lot of kids here. We've had youth from the US interact with the youth from here as well.
So are there possibilities to do virtual training for pastors? Yes, on our field, it's a little bit trickier because we have to make sure we have translation, but we actually have we have a lot of virtual, we already do virtual training for our pastors through our mobile education program. So for that, if you want to be, if you're a pastor wanting to train pastors or a professor or educator, we would connect you with our Bible college, our Southeast Asia. Well, it's called, sorry, it's not Southeast Asia Nazarene Bible College anymore. It's Chapman International College or Institute of Theology, and we would connect you with them, and they would definitely be happy to work with you on something like that for sure. Is there a list of working witness coordinators who are willing to do virtual trips? Well, this is fairly new.
So we did a presentation 2 days ago for all the site coordinators, and it was the first many of them had heard of it. I do know that if you are interested in connecting with the Guatemala for Work and Witness, Roger Kellogg, we shared the materials with him last year, and I know they have done several virtual trips. I know they are also beginning to translate them into Spanish. The DR, not DRC, but DR, Dominican Republic, is hoping to do some. We've just had a lot of people, kind of grab onto it. What I will say is that it's not going to look the same in every context. So what we might do in Southeast Asia, it's going to look completely different on a different field or a different country, simply because it's different people, different culture, and different leaders. Yeah.
But whatever they offer, it's going to be a great experience. So definitely reach out to whatever country you feel like God's leading you to and see what the possibilities are. Just about every Work and Witness coordinator we know just really wants to connect with you guys.
Yeah.
So please just contact whoever you feel led to.
I think that is a great way to end because, yeah, this is something so new, but we have a lot of coordinators who are really excited about the possibilities. So we would love to have you meet up with them and discuss just what the possibilities are in the different world areas and the different contexts. So this has been
not
awesome.
at 1 a.m.
Just not at 1 a.m. So Kevin and Jenny, thank you for being willing to be up in the middle of the night to talk to us. We really appreciated your time.
God bless.
Thanks.
God bless you guys. Bye.
Thank you.